Hi everybody, and welcome to my Oberon's Outlook on the Emotional Exchanges, the weekly tarot reading for the signs of the Zodiac as arranged by their Astrological Elemental Association. So this reading is good for today, Friday, August 7th through next Thursday, the 13th. And the reading hopes to indicate what kind of currents and undercurrents, emotional situations, things about possible relationships or intra-relationships with people, how you will handle things from the emotional point of view. So let's get started. And we do a reading for each of the signs as arranged by their elemental association. So we're starting with the air signs. Air signs are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. And we pull a word of the week using another deck. And that word of the week for you guys is evolution. So evolution, where am I going to stick that? Right there. Evolution is your word of the week. So you guys need to think about all those situations where you could apply those concepts to the emotional situations you're going to encounter. So for example, you know, we talk about people whose feelings about certain social issues have evolved. Well, maybe this is the time for people to understand that when a certain emotional situation that brings up an immediate sense of disgust or whatever that feeling is, you need to examine yourself and say, is this really the right way I should be feeling? Is there a more spiritual or enlightened way I should be looking at that? So that's what we got for you for the word of the week. Try to apply that to your encounters this week. So we're going to go ahead and give our reading now for the air signs. Remember that tarot is a snapshot in time. We are not medical, legal, or any sort of experts along those practical fields. We're mostly entertainers, but what we show you is something that maybe can help you understand what's in your mind, the symbols and signs in your mind that maybe tell you something's going on. So what do we got? We're cutting. And we have the Four of Discs. That's reversed. Four of Discs reversed. Well, to me, that is a situation where someone feels that the material conditions in their life are not really helping them, and or maybe they're finding that they're in a situation where there's a lot of financial outlays. Maybe there are a lot of bills coming up. Maybe there are medical or other situations that create a higher monetary debt for some of us. This could be about debt. This could be about maybe also, conversely enough, trying to release debt. So if you're thinking about where that word evolution comes in, it may be that when we're talking about matters of financial security, debt, indebtedness, that we have to evolve ourselves. We have to think about what's going on that we could change to make lives better, especially if this is really about a downturn. Our next card is the Chariot. And the Chariot to me seems to indicate that there are some issues of drive coming up for you, drive and motivation, and that maybe you are actually working with an emotional situation where you are trying to motivate people. It looks like it's a good process for you, I think. I think that maybe what's happening here is that if you're looking at the situation with the four there, and it's talking about some downturns or the prospect of downturns, the need is to keep your motivation high and to keep your goals high and to keep working towards that. This is not the time to get lazy. This is really about sticking with the plan. And then our next card, the final card, is the Fool. And the Fool's reversed in this reading. So I'm thinking that in the matters of emotions, there is a penchant here to maybe disregard some of these other things and just to say, nah, I'm going my own way. This would possibly be a mistake. This foolish behavior is something you should watch out for in this week. It is possible an opportunity comes to you and it just seems better than what it really is. You need to think level-headedly about this. You need to think about the evolution of this problem or these situations. I'm wondering what maybe ties those together, and I'm thinking it's the Chariot in the middle. So I'm wondering if the opportunity comes to you. Maybe it's an opportunity for a job, but I'm thinking it's more likely along the lines of advancing something in the realms of the emotions. So maybe it's moving ahead on a relationship. Maybe it's moving ahead on mutual things in a relationship. But the Fool is cautioning us against making bad decisions or being impulsive. And combining that with the Four of Discs reverse, this is saying that maybe this is the time to really think thoroughly anything to do with joint assets, joint properties, anything in your relationship or in your partnerships. These are emotional matters too for partners even. You need to keep your level head and watch out for any possible things that need to be addressed with your ability to understand those changes. So that's what I have for the air signs. So we're going to move on now to our fire signs. And fire signs are, of course, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. They are the fiery ones. They are transformative agents of change, but they have emotional situations too. And their word of the week is hostility. And I'm thinking that understanding hostility is what is called for here. It's not about saying approach all your emotional situations with hostility. No, what it's saying is watch out for the hostility within yourself, or watch out for those who are trying to solve emotional problems with hostility. You need to figure out how to work around them and to bring them back into the conversation in a polite and metered way. So keep that in mind for this next week, fire signs. And we're going to get on with your reading now. And if you like this reading, remember to like, subscribe to our channel, share. We do live streaming 4+ hours a week. We have a lot of other content for our viewers. So check it out. That's our YouTube channel. My partner Banshee does her own weekly segment called The Material Matters. And that's going to be on Sundays. So check that out too. It's very popular. She's getting hundreds of views with each setting. So show me some love and give me some viewings too. Hey! So now we are moving to the reading for the fire signs. And once again, this reading is good for today, Friday, August 7th through next Thursday, August 13th. And our first card is the reversed Seven of Discs. Reverse Seven of Discs. And then our next card is the upright Nine of Cups. I gotta show that again. That's such a nice card. And then at last, our final card is Death Reversed. So what does this mean? Well, the Seven of Discs could be saying that there's some movement going on here. It's an okay movement. It may be coming from a period of inactivity to where you're finally feeling like you need to do something. You need to get up and do something. It may be that you've been abandoning some of your projects for so long that it's really starting to show. Maybe it's provoking hostile reactions because you're just sort of missing in action. I'm not sure if that's what that means totally, because I'm also seeing that Nine of Cups there. And to me, the Nine of Cups is saying, this is a lucky time for you. Despite all of that, maybe that's why you've been kind of, reluctant to totally pull yourselves back into activity, because things have been fortunate for you, but it may be about to end. The Death card really talks about inertia and stalemates and stagnation and stuff like that. And it may be that if there has been kind of an easier period for fire signs, kind of coasting in a way, it's going to possibly be ending. I think the luck is still there. There's a lucky thing going on for fire signs, and I know that from my own fire sign, the Banshee. Pretty lucky right now, but there is that mix of stagnation and maybe reluctance to fully engage going on. So I'm not sure how hostility figures into that. I'm wondering if this just does represent that some of these are contrary forces moving in and around you. But luck is luck. So look for that luck, you guys. You're going to have to work really hard here. Maybe it's also really, too, that these cards sort of opposite each other. This may be saying that maybe you're trying to find your way back to being a hard worker, and this maybe is saying you're kind of used to things falling your way. That Death card, even reversed, does represent that this is going to change. So I hope that works for you guys, you fire signs. You are usually good at change, so I'm sure you're going to figure it out. But check it out. So we're going to move on now. And our next set of signs is the water signs. Water signs are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. They're the most fluid emotionally, and that's good and bad. They can be really overcome with emotions, but sometimes they're really about the best with kind of riding those currents too. They have a word of the week. Well, we already know this, right? Solitude. But some water signs really are built for solitude in a way. They're very easy to get into themselves. So maybe that the emotional situations that are going on in this week, you'll need to retreat inward. You'll need to do some solitude and search for those answers on another level. Something that you're pretty good at, water signs. So let's get on to our reading then. In a couple weeks, we'll be moving into the sun sign Virgo. So check out our modality reading, the monthly modality messages, which is a unique astrological reading for each different modality. There are 3 of them, and one sign from each of the elements falls into a modality, meaning basically each of those have different ways of addressing issues, problems, energies in their lives. It's actually a really clever reading, so we hope you'll take that to heart and check it out. And now we're going to our reading for the water signs. Okay, we have the 8 of Swords. It's upright. We have the 6 of Discs, which is also upright. And then we have a 3 of Discs, which is reversed. So what are those? 8 of Swords. Water signs are feeling very contained right now. Water signs are holding shape. Water holds shape when it's held somehow. When you're shaping things, you're also focusing on things. So even if there's the sense that there's no movement, you are sort of pulling things together, maybe for concentration or maybe for some other task or project. What could that be? The 6 of Discs seems to indicate to me that you're finding a sense of gratitude in life and you're hoping to reward people. Maybe you're finding that what has happened in terms of curtailment you may be feeling has also given you a greater sense of how to appreciate the turmoils that other people go through, the challenges and things that other people go through, and therefore you are resolving perhaps to be more generous and more magnanimous with those kind of folks and situations. So then we end up with the reversed 3 of Discs. And that's an interesting card in this context too, because it does also seem to indicate that there's a backtracking here a little bit in terms of your reputation, your appearance to some of your stakeholders, to those people who maybe expect certain things from you. They may be finding that there's a change going on in you now, and some of that is maybe related to what these things are about, that you're trying to kind of create space for generosity or for things that are coming to you. You're trying to hold a vision like that. And maybe that's going to bring a little bit of a dissension with some people who are your stakeholders. I know it sounds a little bit murky here. It's definitely, I think, related to your financial outlook. So it may be connected to your job or career. If you're not working, it may be connected to anything that's of that nature that supplies income to you. So maybe if you're just receiving income from some other source that's not work-related, W-2, as we would say in America, it may relate to situations like that. Maybe it's possible you're going to have to outlay money to get some sort of thing going on in that financial department. Like maybe you're going to have to invest in training or invest in a job agency. And that too could be what the Eight of Swords is about, is that containment there. Is you're going to be on a path to kind of reformulate yourself, because I think you're really going to have to work harder to present a new package for the world. Very interesting there. So that's what I got for the water signs. Don't forget to take that moment of solitude and see what's going on within. So finally, we're going to move on to the earth signs. Earth signs are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. They tend to be level-headed and not easily emotionally shaken. That means that they will have plenty of time and focus for purification, their word of the week. And I think with that word of the week, this is saying earth signs are really going to do a lot of grounded things for themselves, grounded things for their health, grounded things for their intellect. They are going to be reviving and renewing processes and discarding things and making things better, clearing away, purifying for this week ahead. So that's very interesting. So let's finish our reading with the earth signs then. Whoopsie. And here we go. And your cards. We have a Prince of Cups. That's reversed. We have Temperance. Beautiful card. That's upright. And then we have the Magician, who is reversed. So what does this mean? Well, the Prince of Cups. I feel somehow that someone has lost their way emotionally, or maybe within their relationship. Maybe somebody is feeling some distance or some lessening of love in their life. It could indicate that there is a breakup that you're dealing with. I don't think this is happening this week ahead. I think it's something that already happened. The Magician reverse tells me that you have no control over this. The person probably made the break with you. If it's not an actual relationship, it could also be partnerships or big friendships or even family, people who are close. This could be saying that just there's a situation that's involving some disruption with loved ones. And maybe that's where the purification comes in, because maybe one is going to have to really work a lot harder at removing all these factors that were involved in that. That maybe there are a multitude of factors here, you know, that led to this, and it wasn't one thing, but it was like kind of like a camel that broke the straw's back. Because I think that to some degree with the Temperance card there, we're dealing with situations that mostly are moderate, that mostly are balanced, but somehow something has gone to an extreme. The Temperance card does tell me you're going to be able to pull it back towards that moderate view, but you're really going to have to work hard, because the Magician is talking about your willpower, and you're going to need to handle all of your willpower, all of your creative power, all of your faith, everything, to just kind of pull things back from that. Whatever that was that happened, that emotional upset, I think it's repairable. I think that's what Temperance is telling us. But you have to work hard on it. And I think that's where the Purification card comes in. You're going to have to be able to show not only to others, but to yourself, that you have kind of removed what those taints were that were causing the emotional upsets. So that's what I have for the Earth signs. And that pretty much concludes my outlook on the emotional exchanges. I hope it was helpful, and I hope you'll join us on our live streams and all of our other shows, and I hope I see you back next week, next Friday, for another Oberon's Outlook on the emotional exchanges.